Feels good. It feels good to see the ball go through the net. But I think, every game, regardless, you're making shots, you're not, it feels really, really good to have your teammates behind you, and I definitely feel that every day. And
oh, man, I haven't played point guard. I was telling the girls I haven't played point guard maybe since college, and so that was different. But I think I don't know, it brings out the vulnerable side of me.
That the crowd was behind us today. It's fun to walk out of the gym on a high note and on a make. And I saw the time going down, so I was trying to pull out my inner Kelsey Mitchell.
Imagine being drafted as a top talent, only to end up buried on the bench while your team sits at 1-8 and fans question if you even belong. That was Lexie Hull's reality just months ago. But then, one player walked into the locker room and flipped everything upside down. Caitlin Clark didn't just change the fever, she reignited Lexie's career. How exactly did Clark create chances that not only saved Hull's season, but may have saved her future in the WNBA? Let's break down the transformation. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Imagine grinding every single day, showing up early, staying late, running through extra drills.
I think for me, it's focusing on doing the right thing, taking the right shots, being in the right place, focusing less on the outcome of things. Missed shots happen. It's going to happen in everyone's career.
Man, I don't know. That LA one felt good for us because we didn't quit. And then, life happened the other night at the Valley. So we could have looked at it like, oh, woe is me. And, we don't have enough players. And we didn't.
Kelsey's not giving herself enough credit. Her and Sophie putting themselves before the team, making sure that they're sacrificing, playing out of position, doing things that they don't normally do, maybe uncomfortable, but I think they both really did a great job of.
And yet when it's time to suit up on game night, you're stuck on the bench watching your team crumble. That's not just frustrating, that's crushing. And for Lexie Hull at the start of 2024, it was more than just sitting on the sidelines. It felt like all of her years of work, all of the belief that she could be more than just another draft pick, were drifting away while the season spiraled downward. When Hull entered the league, there was excitement around what she could bring to Indiana. She had earned her spot. She came in with a reputation as a tough two-way player, the kind of athlete who fights through screens and doesn't mind taking contact. But all of that talk didn't mean much once rotations started locking in. Instead of becoming a reliable part of the Fever's foundation, she slid deeper into the background. You could almost see the frustration building because the system wasn't clicking at all. The team wasn't balanced, shots weren't falling, and players weren't in rhythm.
You have to remember, social media is just such a false perception of reality. And even for myself, you don't always realize that at times. It's not the real world. And I feel like I just try to show up every single day and be myself and approach it that way and just be authentically me. And, I always try to remind myself how lucky I am to be here and be in this position too. There would be so many people that would kill to be in my shoes.
It wasn't just about personal setbacks. There was this sense that the way things were set up wasn't working for anybody. And once the losses stacked up, the noise outside started to get loud. You know how fans can be. The conversation turned to whether Hull had already peaked. Was she already showing everything she had? Was she a misfit in the league altogether? Those kinds of takes were floating around. For a young player trying to fight for a real place in the lineup, hearing that doubt everywhere is brutal. It's not like she didn't want her shot, she just wasn't getting one. But the questions didn't stop, not online, not in sports talks, and not in the stands. For Hull, those first few months weren't just about missing opportunities. She's admitted that the hardest part was feeling her identity slipping away. Once you're in this league, you've already built a career of people knowing you as the go-to on your team, the competitor who makes an impact. And then suddenly, you're just the one spectating while the scoreboard gets worse. That alone eats at you. She carried that weight into every practice because that was all she had, practice. The Fever's start only made things worse. Sitting at 1-8, the whole locker room was under pressure, coaches were scrambling, lineups kept shifting, and nothing seemed to work. For Hull, this wasn't just another rough patch. When you're already on the edge of the bench, that record makes your seat feel even more unstable. Each game felt like it could be her last chance to prove something, except that chance almost never came. In that space, her real stage became practice. While others were diving into game plans or focusing on how to switch screens during live action, Hull was pouring energy into behind-closed-door scrimmages where few eyes were even watching.
You finally, it doesn't always happen. Honestly, even we have a podcast, mics on our face. You don't always get the opportunity to be like, no, that was a lie.
Yeah.
And just kind of like call it out and like fact check them.
I mean, maybe I would prefer to catch and shoot off of a pass, but any basketball player would say that. But it's a 3-point competition. Everybody shoots off a rack. That's just how it goes.
I'm devastated
Don't
because
let
it's
us
like it's
down.
all about timing, and you have just told the first half of the joke, and now it's like been 5 minutes, and it's just
No one
like
cares.
yeah, no one fucking cares.
That was where she could at least keep her conditioning sharp, lock in on defense, and show her teammates she wasn't checked out. But practice minutes don't show up on the stat sheet. They don't change the public's mind about you, and so the tension kept climbing. Then came the shock to the system. Caitlin Clark arrived. But it wasn't just the arrival of a star who makes highlights. She changed everything from the ground up. From the way drills ran in training camp to how players communicated spacing, tempo, and imagination. Suddenly, running an offense wasn't just about trying to survive possessions. Clark could pull defenders way out to the perimeter, stretch defenses thin, and that opened areas that never existed before. Suddenly, Hull wasn't overlooked anymore, because Clark would spot her in stride, delivering the pass at the exact moment when she was open. That difference was massive. Instead of standing in the corner watching plays die out, Hull found herself right in the action again. Clark's gravity on the court generated new paths and new looks, and Hull became an actual weapon instead of just another face on the bench. Her scoring wasn't coming from forced shots. Clark's setups gave her rhythm. And once a shooter finds rhythm, confidence follows fast. But here's the part that's even more important. Clark didn't just flip the script during games. She pushed Hull and everyone else in practices like never before. The same sessions where Hull once only worked to stay visible suddenly became fiercely competitive proving grounds. For Hull, that pressure wasn't crushing this time. It was fuel, the kind of spark that made her reinvent her game from the inside out. Lexie Hull's rise isn't just about a few games where the shots finally fell. It's about Caitlin Clark raising the standard inside the Fever and forcing everyone else to meet that level. Hull didn't change because the spotlight suddenly found her. She changed because the team's new engine created space for her to prove she still belonged. Think about this. One rookie didn't just reshape Indiana's outlook, she may have saved Hull's career path. And if Clark can unlock that kind of growth in one teammate, imagine what's possible once the entire roster starts clicking at full strength.